This is the harsh truth. Your 9 to 5 is not the reason you're feeling behind in life. It's what you're doing after your 9 to 5 that's keeping you stuck. Because while your day job may pay your bills, your 5 to 9 determines who you become. Those few hours after work are where books get written, businesses get built, bodies get healthier, relationships deepen, and lives begin to change. But for most of us, those hours disappear into exhaustion, scrolling, chores, and distractions before we even realize it. The reality is, most people spend their energy maintaining their current life rather than working toward the future they really want. You have dreams that you want for yourself, but your daily routine doesn't align with what it would take to accomplish them. Ask yourself this. Picture the version of yourself that you want to be in 1 year. Does your current lifestyle look like the one that person has? The truth is, you're not lazy, but you're probably stuck in decision fatigue, cognitive overload, and with a nervous system that's overstimulated. And I think that's why so many of us can feel frustrated with ourselves. You genuinely want to change your life, but keep falling into the same patterns every night. How many of you tell yourself that after work, you're finally going to exercise, work on your passion project, cook a healthy meal, reconnect with a loved one, read a book, or try a new hobby? And instead, you end up on the couch, 4 episodes deep into a TV show, wondering where the entire night went. You promise yourself, tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow you'll have more discipline. Tomorrow you will finally just do the task you said you were going to do. But that's where most people are approaching their 5 to 9 completely wrong. They're relying on motivation instead of systems, reacting to their exhaustion instead of fixing it, and unknowingly building routines that drain even more energy from them instead of giving that energy back. Researchers studying decision fatigue found that the quality of our decisions tends to decline throughout the day as our mental energy gets depleted. By the evening, most people are operating with significantly less cognitive bandwidth than they had earlier in the morning. That's part of why passive habits become so much harder to resist at night, even when you wake up motivated and ready for a productive day. And unfortunately, most of the systems surrounding us are designed to make passive behavior incredibly easy. Streaming platforms autoplay the next episode. Your Instagram feed never ends, and the cozy, comfy couch is always going to feel better in the moment than lacing up your sneakers. Now, obviously, rest matters. I think one of the biggest mistakes self-improvement culture makes is treating every moment of rest like failure. Rest and recovery are extremely important, but there's a very big difference between intentional rest that restores your energy versus the numbing out and feeling frustrated with ourselves that we tend to do on weeknights. If you're just constantly resting each night to reset for the next workday, you'll realize a month went by where you didn't even start a project you were excited about. Your goals start feeling like they belong to some future version of yourself who will eventually have more time, more energy, more clarity, more motivation. But your evenings, right now, as your life looks today, matter. And I'm going to help you utilize them so you can be productive, energized, and more fulfilled. It's not about finding more hours in the day. It's about resetting the way you use the crucial time you do have. You have goals. You want to be productive. You want to feel happy and well-rounded, well-read. You want to spend time with the people you love and who love you. All of these things are accessible to you if you do the 5 to 9 right. So today, I want to take us through the 5 shifts that can completely change your evenings and ultimately your life. The first shift is changing your first move after work. Behavioral scientist Wendy Wood, who studies habits and automatic behavior, has found that much of human behavior is driven less by conscious decision-making and more by environmental cues and repeated patterns. That's why so many people sit down for 5 minutes after work and somehow lose 3 hours to TikTok. The brain recognizes the pattern before your conscious mind fully catches up. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to fight the wrong battle. If you know that going straight home from the office destroys your momentum, stop trying to rely on discipline once you're already in your home. Change the first move instead. Go directly to the gym after work. Stop at a cafe before heading home and spend an hour working on your side hustle. Go for a walk after you park your car before you head in the front door. Meet a friend for dinner straight from the office. Interrupt the autopilot loop before the decision fatigue fully takes over. Psychologists call this implementation intention theory, creating specific if-then plans ahead of time. Instead of vaguely saying, I should work out more, you decide, if work ends at 6, then I get to the gym at 6:15. Research consistently shows that people are far more likely to follow through on behaviors when they've created a specific situational plan ahead of time. Most lives are shaped less by huge dramatic choices and more by repeated small decisions that slowly become your identity. My first move after a workday is to dive into a book. I keep books open in different places in my home. There's one by my bedside, one in my living room, one in my office. And what I try and do is just dive into a book immediately. I know that if I wait to settle down, if I wait to simmer down, I'll probably lose the motivation. But if I pick up a book that's already open and go back to where I was when I finished off, then already I'm reconnected. Something I prioritize doing every single night is having a meal with someone I love without my phone. I think it's so important to feel a sense of connection. The second shift is batching small tasks so they don't consume your entire week. I think one of the biggest reasons people feel like they don't have time after work is because they're redoing the same basic life maintenance tasks every single night. Laundry, grocery shopping, answering emails, handling carpool, running to appointments. None of these things feel overwhelming individually, but together they eat hours of your evenings before you ever get to the thing you actually care about. This is why batching your life admin is so important to getting your time back. Meal prep for 2 hours on Sunday instead of spending hours cooking from scratch every single night. Do all your house cleaning in one block instead of scattering it throughout the week. Pick one evening a week for laundry and stick to it. Spend 30 minutes on a Sunday planning your weeknights ahead so you stop wasting energy constantly deciding what to do next. The goal is to reconfigure the free hours you already have in a week to make room for the things you actually want to spend time doing. The more friction you remove from basic life maintenance, the more energy you have left for your health, relationships, creativity, and future. The third shift is to stop waiting to feel good or motivated before taking action. I genuinely think this is one of the most damaging beliefs people tell themselves. They think they should feel inspired before creating, energized before exercising, calm before meditating, confident before starting a new task. But that's not always realistic in the chaos of our busy daily lives. In fact, consistency usually comes before motivation, not after it. That doesn't mean ignoring your body or forcing yourself into burnout, but it does mean occasionally, whatever it is you want to accomplish in your life, you just have to do it tired. Go to dinner with friends, even if you're in a bad mood. Go to a workout class, even if you're yawning. Open that Word document of the book you want to write, even if you're creatively slumped. Prove to yourself that you can rely on yourself to do the things you say you're going to do, even if you're not in the perfect mood to do them. Because the reality is, after a tough day at your 9 to 5, it's likely you're not going to be in the mood to do anything but lay on the couch and start scrolling. So at some point, you need to be okay with just doing it anyway. You know, when I'm struggling for motivation after work, but I want to work on my book or work on a creative thing that I haven't had time for in my day, I just think about what it will feel like in a week to not do it. I know if I don't do that thing that I creatively want to do for a week, I'm going to feel emptier. I'm going to feel heavier. I'm going to feel like I'm not doing what I was meant to do. And so future facing, the emotion that I'll experience impacts me to make a difference now. Another thing I want to talk about is an activity that I don't look forward to, or didn't used to at least, was going to the gym. I always used to feel I don't have enough energy for the gym. I'm not ready for the gym. Only to realize that every time I leave the gym, I feel amazing and I feel so happy that I went. And I want you to realize that the things that are good for you feel bad at the beginning and amazing afterwards. And the things that are bad for you, they feel great in the beginning and not so great afterwards. The brain naturally gravitates toward immediate relief instead of pushing forward. But over time, this creates a deeper issue. You stop trusting yourself. Every night becomes further proof that you're okay with abandoning the things you said mattered to you. Eventually, you come to believe that you're incapable of even accomplishing them at all. That's why even the smallest actions matter so much. Reading 10 pages, going for a walk, spending 30 minutes researching for a project, calling your loved one to check in. These actions seem insignificant in isolation, but over time, they become evidence about who you are. It's easy to look ahead and get excited by outcomes, money, success, transformation, but the real journey to your goals is just based on repetition. Your future is truly shaped by what you repeatedly do on ordinary Tuesday nights when nobody's watching. Big news, Junie just launched at Kroger and we're celebrating with a free can for you because most of us hit that point in the afternoon when our energy dips and our focus starts to fade. Well, that's exactly why we created Junie, a sparkling drink crafted with natural ingredients to lift your mood, sharpen your focus, and give you smooth energy, all without the crash. Now available at Kroger stores, including Ralph's, Fred Meyer, King Soopers, Smith's, and Fry's, where you can grab a free Junie on us. So head to drinkjunie.com/Kroger to claim your free can in-store so you can feel better and live better. The fourth shift is giving yourself one meaningful goal each evening instead of trying to reinvent your entire life overnight. I think ambitious people unintentionally sabotage themselves in this area constantly. They get home from work and they expect they'll be able to work out, cook dinner, clean the apartment, answer emails, see friends, meditate, read, journal, call family, work on their businesses, and still get 8 hours of sleep at the end of the night. It's impossible to do everything all at once. When you overset your goals for one weeknight, you're going to end up feeling guilty and unproductive when you inevitably don't get it all done. This creates a terrible psychological loop where your evenings start feeling associated with inadequacy instead of fulfillment. What you really need to be doing is trying to win the week, not trying to win every single day. There's been lots of times in my life where I've been close to burning out because I've been trying to do everything all at the same time. Think about the weather. Seasons. Seasons exist because even the environment does different things in different phases at different times. Think about your life as seasons, not as one season for the whole year. That's what really helped me understand the importance of priorities. Some seasons are like spring. They're about new ideas, fresh growth. Some seasons are about summer, joy, experience, going deep into immersive feelings. Some seasons are like autumn. They're like about shedding. And some seasons are like winter, about hibernating and just protecting yourself. Not every goal needs to be worked toward every evening. Maybe a couple of weeknights are for wellness and exercise. Maybe one is for friendships, one is for creativity, and one is for the practical life maintenance you're now batching. A balanced life repeated consistently is where real progress is made. And finally, the fifth shift is building evenings that actually give you energy back. Listen, I understand that having a 9-to-5 is taxing and exhausting, and your natural instinct is to structure your entire life around maintaining energy just to survive at work. But we as humans actually gain energy back in the long run when we're pouring into ourselves and into the activities that truly fulfill us. There's a reason people often feel more energized after a workout, a meaningful conversation, a walk outside, or after a productive hour of work rather than 3 hours straight of scrolling. Your energy is like a generator, not a battery. It's not constantly draining until you hit zero. Rather, you're able to revive, reset, and pull your energy levels back up depending on what you choose to pour your time and attention into. The goal of your evening should not just be recovering enough to survive tomorrow, to make the most of our 5 to 9s. We need to connect intentionally to something that is building us towards a better future. I love going on a hike after work. I think being in nature, being outdoors, expanding the mind makes me feel so energized. Now, I don't always want to go, but I've started to write down and journal about the feeling after I hike. So after I do force myself to go on a hike, I'll write about it so that the next day when I don't want to go, when I'm tired, I read it to myself, or I listen back to an audio journal, which is saying to me, don't give up, go on that hike, get out there. For me, an ideal successful weeknight is getting to bed on time. I really believe that if